The exes was for Snoop.
Oh.
Yeah, it was for him. About him sleeping with, supposed to been in the bed with Diddy. Even Snoop. You understand? And a lot of more people, their career went up and they sat on this man's lap. That's the director. You understand?
Oh, man.
And that's why a lot of them sold their soul to be on the director chair. So he was a double agent. You understand? He was a double agent for the record label, and he was a snitch for the LAPD.
The rumors are flying, and this time the claims are shocking. Just recently, an insider spilled details that Snoop Dogg shared some very personal moments with none other than Diddy. The allegations: Snoop was seen holding hands with Diddy, sitting on his lap, and even caught in intimate situations with him.
The rated book got Snoop letting Diddy rub on his hand.
Damn.
You understand? And that's where one of the exes come from, Snoop.
Insiders claim that Kim Porter, Diddy's former partner, even walked in on Snoop and Diddy together, sparking some serious drama. Was this the real reason she finally decided to leave him? But these revelations don't stop at Snoop and Diddy. Today, we're digging deeper into the darker side of their connection, one that ties back to the tragic death of Tupac.
He was a double agent. You understand? He was a double agent for the record label, and he was a snitch for the LAPD.
Could Snoop's close friendship with Diddy be connected to the long-standing mysteries surrounding Tupac's fate? And could Tupac's brother have been right all along when he suggested Diddy might know more than he lets on?
If you look at all the theories, the theory involving him is quite high on the list.
From shocking claims about Snoop and Diddy's relationship to the dark history they share, we're diving into all the secrets, mysteries, and controversial truths that this latest insider has exposed. But first, let's unravel the claims that have everyone buzzing. According to an insider, Kim's diary is filled with stories that, if true, could shake the foundations of hip-hop. One of the most surprising claims: a very complicated relationship between Diddy and Snoop Dogg.
Even Snoop. You understand? And a lot of more people, their career went up when they sat on this man's lap. That's the director. You understand?
Oh, man.
And that's why a lot of them sold their soul to be on the director chair.
You wouldn't expect to see two hip-hop giants known for their gangster personas linked in such a way. But as Kim reportedly wrote, Snoop was allegedly seen engaging in rather intimate moments with Diddy. This included what some would call out-of-character behavior, like holding hands in private gatherings. Yes, you heard that right. The diary reportedly describes moments where Snoop and Diddy were unusually close, too close, even holding hands. For two men with such public images, known for their tough exteriors, this is a revelation no one expected. But according to Kim's account, this wasn't just about friendship, it was about something more complex, a kind of exchange or compromise, an arrangement that allegedly helped secure Snoop's career in a highly competitive industry. This wasn't an isolated case. Kim's diary reportedly describes a whole series of encounters, some captured in photos, featuring Diddy alongside other well-known figures like Neo and Andre Harrell. These photos hint at a side of the music industry that's rarely discussed publicly, a world where loyalty and success are supposedly intertwined with trust and obedience, and sometimes a willingness to blur personal boundaries.
They got Diddy and Neo, and if you heard Neo's wife call him Little Diddy, that he liked free golf.
And here's where it gets even murkier. According to Kim's writings, Diddy's influence wasn't limited to personal relationships. The insider alleges that Diddy may have had double agents, individuals in his circle who weren't just working for him but were playing both sides. People close to rival camps, like Tupac's circle, who allegedly leaked information back to Diddy.
He was a double agent. You understand? He was a double agent for the record label, and he was a snitch for the LAPD.
But perhaps the most controversial claim in Kim's memoir, it's said that Diddy's influence extended far beyond his own empire, possibly even shaping hip-hop culture itself. The memoir reportedly hints at Diddy subtly pushing certain narratives, such as introducing same-as themes into the music industry, perhaps testing boundaries and redefining norms. Was this about expanding representation or something more self-serving? And if that weren't enough, there's talk of certain blacked-out names in Kim's memoir, specifically details that allude to Snoop Dogg. Some pages reportedly refer to explicit situations like Diddy and Snoop allegedly sharing a bed.
There's a bunch of X's for certain people's names? Like who was the exes that was taken out of the book?
The exes was for Snoop, about him sleeping with, supposed to been in the bed with Diddy.
Whoa. That's crazy.
They caught it.
Now, the craziest part is that Snoop Dogg's career trajectory changed dramatically after he left Death Row Records and joined forces with Diddy. His shift brought him into the limelight like never before, but at what cost? While on the outside, this looked like a standard career move, insiders alleged that their professional relationship masked a deeper, more complicated connection. With Diddy's influence, Snoop shed the shadows of Death Row. But his proximity to Diddy could also have entangled him in the controversies surrounding Tupac and Biggie's deaths. Snoop found himself at the center of a narrative he couldn't escape. In a recent interview, Mopreme Shakur stirred the pot by implying Diddy might have had a hand in taking out Tupac. Just when people thought this cold case was done and dusted, bam! Las Vegas detectives arrested Dwayne "Keefe D. Davis, a 60-year-old gang leader with deep ties to some serious street business. Keefe D's name has been floating around the hip-hop conspiracy ether for years, so the fact that authorities just now picked him up has left everyone wondering, what took so long?
For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keefe.
Keefe D's arrest has sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, offering a glimmer of hope for those still craving justice for Tupac. But for Mopreme Shakur, this moment feels more like deja vu than victory. He described it as bittersweet, his raised eyebrow conveying the fact that they had been well aware of Keefe D's involvement for many years. The million-dollar question that continues to loom large is, why did it take authorities so long to apprehend a suspect who had been openly divulging his role in the crime?
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
Okay.
According to Mopreme, this arrest hasn't provided the closure that many had hoped for. Instead, it has stirred up past traumas. For decades, Tupac's family has borne the weight of mourning the loss of an iconic figure without any semblance of retribution. Over the years, a multitude of conspiracy theories have swirled around the unalivement, and a solitary arrest is unlikely to alter people's perspectives. Mopreme firmly believes that more individuals were involved in his brother's unalivement, and he is urging authorities to intensify their investigation to identify everyone responsible.
We deal with the loss. My nieces, nephews, my sister, my brothers, we all miss him.
Now, Mopreme didn't point fingers directly. He's careful with his words, but the way he talked about Diddy's possible involvement got people side-eyeing all over again. It's no secret that Tupac and Diddy were knee-deep in the East Coast-West Coast beef, so it's not that wild of an idea. Diddy had a lot to lose if Tupac stayed on top. Bad Boy Records and Death Row were basically at war. But here's where things get weird, because this isn't just about Diddy. Snoop Dogg, of all people, is also caught in the crossfire. And trust us, the rumors about Snoop's role in all this, they go way deeper than most people realize.
It's about justice for my brother.
Snoop Dogg and Tupac were supposed to be tight. They were both on Death Row Records, rolling with Suge Knight and dropping bangers left and right. But as things started heating up between the East and West Coast camps, Snoop wasn't exactly riding for Tupac the way everyone expected. Rumor has it that Snoop started getting real buddy-buddy with Diddy, which didn't sit right with Tupac. Let's be honest, Tupac was out here calling out Bad Boy and going full savage on Hit 'Em Up. And meanwhile, Snoop was apparently playing it safe and staying friendly with the enemy.
There's no dream of making an album with Biggie and Puffy, or none of them. We're not sweating it like that.
This is our family
We
over
peacefully
here.
coexist right now because we all cool. Everybody's here. They sell records. We sell records. Well, I guess you could call that selling records what they do.
Things got so tense between Snoop and Tupac that there are stories of Tupac straight up ignoring Snoop during a flight back from New York, just days before Tupac was gunned down in Vegas. Snoop even admitted in later interviews that Tupac gave him the cold shoulder during that trip. Can you imagine the tension on that plane? Two rap legends sitting in silence, knowing they were drifting apart. Wild stuff. But the real kicker came from Suge Knight. Now, Suge isn't exactly known for holding back. This dude throws accusations like confetti. Over the years, he's floated the idea that Snoop Dogg might have been involved in some way with Tupac's unalivement. Suge Knight has resurfaced with additional revelations about the inner workings of the 90s West Coast hip-hop scene, asserting his significant role in the Snoop Dogg M case. The latest installment of Collect Call with Suge Knight, broadcast on November 9th through Dave May's Breakbeat Media, delves into how the former Death Row Records head claims to have saved Snoop Dogg from a potential life sentence.
So what you mean when you say that he'd still be in prison?
Because when Snoop got convicted for the
Knight boldly asserted, if it weren't for me, Snoop would still be in prison doing life, as he recounted the events leading to the infamous trial. In 1993, Snoop Dogg and his former bodyguard Malik faced first and second-degree unalivement charges related to the death of Philip Little Smooth Woldemariam in Los Angeles. Detailing the legal strategy, Knight recalled a crucial moment. The lawyer said, well, the bodyguard has a 9mm, so we can't say he protected Snoop and shot the guy. Snoop had a .380. I said, we'll be effed if the bodyguard had a .380 and Snoop had a 9mm. And he got shot with a .380, right? He got shot with a 9mm. But since Snoop had the .380 and the bodyguard had a 9mm and he got shot with a .380, all the bodyguard gotta say is he was using .380 bullets in his 9mm. Knight continued to explain his intervention, claiming to have spent $6 million to tie up loose ends. This included settling a blackmail attempt within Snoop's circle, even meeting with a private investigator to set the record straight. According to Knight, this intervention led to the destruction of an alleged incriminating tape.
got through a gang sign to them, they start chasing them in the Jeep I got. They shoot. And the guy got shot.
Suge Knight has raised concerns about the legitimacy of Snoop Dogg's control over Death Row Records, suggesting that the rapper acquired ownership of the label through questionable means. In an audio recording released by TMZ in April 2023, Knight, who is currently incarcerated, discussed Snoop's role as the owner and CEO of Death Row. According to Knight, Snoop's stake in the label is linked to an alleged criminal act involving both Snoop and Michael Harry O'Harris, a convicted drug kingpin and an initial financial supporter of Death Row Records.
Right. Right. If you look at it, they committed fraud. They committed bankruptcy fraud. I didn't lose my company by doing anything wrong. They went in and...
When prompted for his opinion on Snoop's ownership, Knight expressed doubt about whether Snoop is the rightful owner of the label that gained prominence in the 90s. Knight went on to accuse Harris of engaging in bankruptcy fraud, a revelation he claims he and his legal team discovered just a week prior to the recorded phone call. Snoop has a partner, which is Michael Harris, right? The 58-year-old told the outlet. If you look at it, they committed bankruptcy fraud. I didn't lose my company by doing anything wrong. They went in and the lawyer didn't show up and they got a default judgment. I settled the judgment. They turned around and said I didn't settle the judgment. Knight strongly asserts that the sale of Death Row was not only illegal, but also a crime, accusing Harris's wife and legal team of knowingly participating in the fraudulent activities stemming from the 1995 bankruptcy claim. According to Knight, when they filed for bankruptcy, they explicitly denied any connection to Death Row, and he insists that their lawyer was fully aware of the deception.
The lawyer didn't show up, and they got a default judgment. I settled the judgment. They turned around and said I didn't settle the judgment, but they committed.
Continuing his argument, Knight emphasizes the legal discrepancies surrounding the sale and acquisition of Death Row Records in light of Harris's previous bankruptcy filing. He passionately argues against rewarding someone he views as having committed a grave crime against black people by attempting to transfer ownership from them to white individuals. Knight firmly believes that he and Death Row are inseparable, expressing his determination to reclaim the label he played a pivotal role in building. You can't take a person who committed the worst crime of the century to take Death Row from black people to try to give it to white people, he said, and think you're gonna turn around and reward and say he's gonna grab Snoop and he's gonna go get it back and have Death Row. It don't work like that. So if we're gonna talk about something, let's talk about it. Despite Snoop Dogg's announcement in February 2022 that he had acquired Death Row Records through a deal with MNRK Music Group, Knight remained adamant about his claim to the label. He declared, "I am Death Row. Suge Knight is Death Row," signaling his unwavering determination to retain his connection to the label he played a pivotal role in building.
And you can't commit bankruptcy fraud and settle and do those type of things. So the same guy you see in the series, when you see all of his deposition in prison.
In February 2022, it was announced that Snoop had acquired Death Row Records in a deal with MNRK Music Group. However, the terms of the deal were undisclosed. Snoop released a statement reacting to the news, which marked a full-circle moment in the rap legend's illustrious career. I am thrilled and appreciative of the opportunity to acquire the iconic and culturally significant Death Row Records brand, which has immense untapped future value, the Gin and Juice rapper shared. It feels good to have ownership of the label I was part of at the beginning of my career and as one of the founding members. This is an extremely meaningful moment for me. I would like to personally thank the teams at Blackstone, MNRK, and especially David Kestenbaum, who worked collaboratively with me over several months to make this exciting homecoming a reality. I'm looking forward to building the next chapter of Death Row Records. However, Snoop has also himself revealed that he once escaped an attack by Death Row and ended up in jail. On BET's No Limit Chronicles, Snoop Dogg recounted a harrowing incident when he narrowly escaped an attack by individuals loyal to the then Death Row Records CEO, Suge Knight. This incident unfolded backstage at the No Limit Records I Got the Hookup Comedy Jam in Los Angeles in May of 1998. Snoop, who had recently departed from Death Row for No Limit Records, found himself confronted by Knight's associates over comments he had made about Knight. When asked about Knight's remark that Snoop had transitioned from being a superstar to a No Limit soldier, Snoop responded with a succinct nothing, adding, "He used to be a CEO, now he's just an inmate." Snoop directed a middle finger at the camera, presumably aimed at Knight. During the confrontation backstage, Snoop was surrounded by Knight's associates who insisted he owed Knight an apology. When Snoop's response didn't satisfy them, a physical altercation ensued. Snoop managed to escape unscathed, but chaos erupted. The other No Limit rappers, including Master P, halted their on-stage performance to rush to Snoop's aid.
Suge Knight made money in rap. Master P put money in rap.
Break that down for me.
Big difference. When I was on Death Row Records, we made a lot of money.
Amid the turmoil, with gunshots on the song playing in the background, the unaware audience contributed to the confusion, leading to a riot. Despite evading the attack, Snoop's night took another unexpected turn. Trying to save himself, Snoop inadvertently encountered law enforcement who found M in his possession. He was handcuffed and placed in the back of a police car. He said, "I get away. No cuts, no scars, no hits, no nothing," Snoop said. "But I run right into the law, with weed in my pocket and everything because I'm trying to save my life. They handcuffed me. They put me in back of the police car." Snoop Dogg and his cousin, rapper Daz Dillinger, found themselves in jail that night due to marijuana possession. To their surprise, upon entering the jail, they discovered the presence of a familiar face, Ray J. Reflecting on the incident with laughter, Snoop shared, "They take me and my cousin Daz to jail, and when we get in there, Ray J is in there. So we spent 4 hours in jail with Ray J. I'm not fabricating this, man. I'm not making this up." The shocking part in all these things is Snoop's unalivement. In an interview on the Black Effect Podcast Network with Cam Capone News' McKinley Lee Jr., Snoop Dogg's former bodyguard provided a detailed account of the 1993 unalivement of a rival gang member that led to first-degree unalivement charges for both Snoop and Lee.
When I tell you this story, you're going to find out that it was about Snoop, but it really wasn't about Snoop because they knew the truth. And then,
according to Suge, Snoop was looking out for himself and might have had a little too much loyalty to Diddy back in the day. Suge even hinted that Snoop may have distanced himself from Tupac on purpose, knowing things were about to go down. Of course, Snoop's denied this every chance he's gotten. He's always tried to paint a picture of him and Tupac being besties to the end, but people aren't exactly buying it. In fact, some fans and insiders have pointed out that Snoop's stories about Tupac have changed over the years, and not in a good way. One minute, he's saying they were close. The next minute, he's downplaying their friendship. And let's be real, when your story keeps changing, it only makes you look more suspicious.
Because we were death row, and that's the life we was living. We felt like we was untouchable until that fatal day.
What really gets people talking is how Snoop acted after Tupac was offed. While most of Death Row was devastated, Snoop seemed to be, well, weirdly chill about the whole thing. He kept his distance from Suge and the Death Row crew after Tupac's death and eventually jumped ship to sign with Master P's No Limit Records. People started wondering if Snoop knew something everyone else didn't. Like maybe he was trying to get as far away from the situation as possible before things blew up. And then there's that time Snoop casually dropped the bomb that he smoked with Tupac the night before the Vegas shooting. A claim that other people close to Tupac have said is pure cap. It's little things like this that have fans side-eyeing Snoop, wondering if he's trying to rewrite history to make himself look innocent.
I'm Snoop Dogg. I never had any beef with anybody from the East. I'm here to make good music. That's what I signed my contract to Death Row Records for, to make good music and perform and put out good albums.
Now here's where things get really interesting. Mopreme Shakur hasn't accused Snoop of anything directly, but if this case ever gets reopened, there's a chance Snoop's name could come up. With Suge Knight still sitting in prison, throwing out wild accusations, and Mopreme calling for answers about Diddy's involvement, it wouldn't take much for Snoop to get pulled into the drama. And let's be honest, if investigators start connecting the dots between Snoop, Diddy, and Tupac's unalivement, things could get messy fast. Snoop's been living his best life lately, but if any of these old rumors get traction, he might have to answer some uncomfortable questions. In any case, whether these accounts are pure speculation or rooted in a hidden reality, the whispers surrounding Snoop Dogg and Diddy's relationship open a rare window into the complex web of loyalty, rivalry, and secrecy in hip-hop. The industry has always been a blend of brotherhood and betrayal, where alliances can be as powerful as they are fragile. And as history has shown, what happens behind closed doors often shapes the legacies of the biggest names in the game, legacies clouded by the mysteries of fame, fortune, and loyalty tested in ways most of us can barely imagine. Perhaps the truth about Snoop and Diddy's connection will one day see the light, filling in the missing pieces of a story that's as controversial as it is unforgettable. Until then, these claims add yet another layer to a tale where music, loyalty, and fame collide, leaving us with more questions than answers in a world that thrives on secrecy. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.